Just waiting for a few minutes and then we'll begin. Just chill out for a little bit. So, hi guys, it's Divinity here. Just wanted to do a little fun little project with you. 2020 has now have gone, which is kind of great for everybody, and now we're going to be welcoming 2021. Yay! So I thought I'd do such a quick fun project to do just to celebrate the new year and to create something different this year. I know 2020 is kind of gone, and some people might think it's a waste of a year, which I totally agree, but let's make 2021 something really special as a result of it. So for those who don't know me, my name is Divinity Chan. I'm the art diva of Divinity Art on Facebook. And this is a special recording just for my VIP group. Just thought I'd give them my priority first, and then later on I'll release it to my Facebook page eventually. But I thought I'd do a little fun project for you guys. A little bit about me for those who don't know. I've done a lot of in-person events before COVID, pre-COVID. I did almost 500 live events with paint night, and also done basic watercolor classes for our local community center, and as well done paint your pet events and ceramics as well. And I thought because of COVID, we moved things virtually. So I thought I'd do the same as well to continue my teaching and from my love of teaching, in hopes to create space for people to fully express themselves, whether it's through canvas, ceramics, paint your pets, whatever that may be. Here's a chance to get creative, and I want to create that space for people to do that. So hopefully you'll enjoy what I'm going to be offering for you today. So today we're doing word of intention or the word of the year, depending on which phrase worked for you. I'm pretty excited about today because I was thinking about the word that I want to be focusing on this year. Now, in saying that, I know a few people have been encouraged to have more than one word. I've been following Danielle Laporte, and she's always encouraged to use 4 to 6 feeling words to use to focus. I've had those words, which I'd like to use once in a while when I see them on my computer, because it's on a sticky right there. But because I have a shiny object syndrome where anything shiny I look at, I get really distracted easy. So what I wanted to do was to focus on one word instead of 4 or 5. Now, there's nothing wrong with focusing more than one word. It's perfectly fine. I just like using one word as a catalyst to start focusing on and start making some changes in the year 2021. So either way works. If you want to use more than one word, you can have it on one board, or you can do it on multiple boards and just put it around in different parts of the room of your place. Just a reminder. A lot of people I've seen put their word of the year in the bathroom. Some people put it in their bedroom, even in their office space. So it depends on what works for you. I'm going to be putting this word in my computer space because that's usually where I hang out often, and we'll see how it works. If not, I'll hang it around this corner of my apartment in my studio area, and that would be a great way for me when I look up, I'll see that word, and that will remind me, yes, I got to focus on some and make some adaptations to that word. Before I forget, also gonna let you know that Valentine's Day is coming up. So whether you're single or in a couple, I got something for you. I'll be offering a free virtual live painting. It's gonna be held my Zoom page on Zoom. On that, please join me. I'll post the details in the Facebook page and the group if you're part of the Divinity Art VIP group. And if you're not, be sure to find us. I'll post a link in the Facebook page so that you can join us, and I'll have all the details in there as well. In the VIP group, I'm going to have little option, little tips and little things in there because they're my special group, of course. So what else? So I'll be doing two virtual parties for Valentine's Day. One's going to be on Canvas, and as well as going to do some sorry, I'm not speaking very well today. wood ornaments, Valentine's Day style. So I'm pretty excited about sharing that with you, and I hope you're able to attend. As we're painting this word of the year or word of intention, you can use any materials you like, as I mentioned in my mini Facebook Live that I did the other day. You use any materials you want. If you want to use multimedia, feel free to do that. In front of me, I have paints. I even have glitter somewhere. I've basically surrounded myself with lots of tools to kind of play with. I don't have a specific end result, so I'm gonna go free form, which I'm pretty excited about. So don't mind me if I do pause and think quite a bit to see where I want to go. I got some sponges. I even got some gold leaf stuff. So I'll put some here. Gold leaf stuff. I had this for forever. That would be a good thing to use to try to use. Now they're good. They're a trend. They're trendy these days. I got my glitter as well. It's gold. So I have quite a bit of stuff around, surrounded here on my table. I also have my pens and pencils if I ever need it. Brushes, scissors. I have scrap paper behind me if I need that. So it's nice when you're starting out to do something like this to surround yourself with a few supplies just to get yourself started. You don't need to get it done all in one session, in one sitting. I'm not sure if I'll be able to get it done today or not, but I'll give you some guidelines for you to start your process, and then I'll give you some tips and ideas on how to move forward with your final product. Hope that's worked for you. What else can I say? You can also use stickers as well. If you don't want to paint your word, you can always use stickers. You can go to the dollar store, the art craft store, and get some fun little stickers that you can stick on. That would save time, but also it'd be a fun thing to do. Add a bit of gold in there as well. And that is it. So let's talk about my word. How did I come to this particular word? I was thinking about it the other day, I think before the end of 2020, and I was thinking about 2021 is going to be a brand new year, brand new energy. For those who are into numerology, you might know this is a 5-year. So it's going to be new change, new action, new adventure, a lot of energy moving forward, pushing things, changing things, being creative. So because of that, I wanted something that will reflect that, and also to reflect on where I want it to go. Now, when it comes to creating your own word, some ideas you might think about is, what do I need to do right now? What's needed for me right now in order for me to move forward? What qualities and traits are important to me? And what words or themes or conversations have been popping up with friends or family that maybe I need to look at and perhaps maybe use as a focus. So the common words that people will use, depending on who they are and what they need, it could be abundance, it could be flow, it could be love, it could be self-love, of course, it can be relationship love, whatever that may be. It could be prosperity if you're looking for more money, wanting to bring that into your life. Ease, if you find that you've been working really hard and you want to flow a little bit easier, have a little bit of ease, that's always great. Joy is always a good one to have. You can't go wrong with joy, right? Reminds me of Marcy Sharma, happy for no reason. So there's that. Health, I know resolutions are a big thing, so people I know are full of use. Adventure, I've used adventure as one of my words before. Rock star, I just need to come out of my shell and feel like a rock star. Empowerment, whatever that may mean for you. Courage, if you find that you need to step out your fear a little bit more, have the sense of courage, bring that energy of courage forward. So there's tons of different words that you can do. Probably the newest word that I've been hearing is align. Aligning meaning being in tune in the direction you want to go, the path you want to go, and being true to who you are. So authenticity has been one of them as well. So there's lots of words to play with. So find which one works. And of course, there's if you find that this one word that you picked doesn't work for you, few months down the road, you can always change it. You can always change it, which is always great. I think life changes. Life is always in a flow, whether it's going backward, forward, up and down. So feel free to change whatever you feel like you need to at the time. Nothing's stuck in stone, which is kind of great in that sense. We need a bit of flow in our lives, right? So the word I've chosen is change. And the reason why I chose this word is I wanted to go to the next level. I felt like in my life, I have been seeing life in a certain way, being life in a certain way, showing up in a certain way. And while it's been great to step out of that zone, which I haven't, which I stepped out a few years ago, I feel like I could have done a lot more. So I don't want to, there's the regretful thing. You don't want to die with regrets. Not saying that I am or will be, but I wanted something different. And because this word change encompass a lot of things, change of residence, change of workplace, because I want a bigger studio. Currently in my apartment, I have no living room or dining room because it is completely in my workspace. So the only way for me to retreat when I come home is my bedroom. So I do like to have a separate room where I can put all these work in that room and be able to close the door when I'm done and have a space to relax and chill out and be able to entertain. I joke with my friends that if they want to come over, I only have 2 chairs, the chair that I'm sitting on right now and my computer chair. So there is that change. And of course, in moving and finding a place, that becomes a drastic change as well. Changes in how I want to show up, the words I use, my perspective, change in relationships, friendships. I was doing a lot of personal growth, and unfortunately, I still am. I haven't, that as a branding project. So in that, I want to do some changes in that as well. And I'm not looking for immediate drastic change in a sense of I'm going to get it done. Everything's going to be done by tomorrow. I'm looking at a gradual change, change and see what I can what I can shift in the year 2021. And so that when I look back, when it comes to 2022, I'll be able to see the shifts that I had hoped and intend to make. So, and I, of course, I have some friends that will keep me accountable, so which is totally awesome. I had thought about other words as well. When I was kind of sitting with it, the first word that came up for me was reflection. And that didn't feel right for me because I've been kind of reflecting for a little bit. And then the next word came up was transition. Transition. Well, that's a nice, pretty word. And I thought about using that word. It didn't feel grounded for me. Like it wouldn't feel like an action word that I can take action on. I found it a little esoteric, even though it isn't really esoteric, but for my word that I needed for 2021, I need a little something grounded, something that makes sense, something that, right, change is an actionable word. Not saying transition isn't, but it just felt like a more stronger word that I can actually embody and do something with. Transition, it was a little more airy-fairy. I didn't feel like I could do much. Maybe for you guys, you might feel it different for you guys, but for me, it wasn't doing. So what I've done is I printed on computer, changed in a font. I want a script font. I didn't want anything too blocky because I know change is flow. I mean, in life, change is the only constant we have in the world. We can have, everything changes, everything's in flux. So I wanted that to reflect that. So I picked some script fonts and I haven't decided quite yet which one I want, but I might end up using this one because it kind of feels right at the moment, but you know what? Let's see what I have for my background and then we'll go from there. I'm not sure if I'll be able to finish the whole thing today, so I might stop at some point and then finish off maybe a few hours later, depending on how I feel about it. This is something that I do want on my wall, so I do want to be happy with what I have. And so who knows? Who knows? I do have an idea of where to begin, but it may change. and it may change, no pun intended, and then we'll see how it works. So I'm gonna go with the flow. I don't have anything planned, not something that I normally do for my paint night events, but let's go for it. So I have this whiteboard, just making sure it's in the center right here. So what I want to do, what I feel like doing is I want to do something a little abstract, which is something I'm not familiar with. So I'm just going to go and play with it. I am starting from scratch, only to let you guys get a feel of how did I work from scratch. I know generally I would want this canvas part. This is just canvas board. 9 by 12. I wanted a little bigger, but this is what I could find at the moment. I wanted to, generally what I do when I do my paint events, I usually go paint the background to get it started and then just do other things and then finish off with the word. But because I want to try something a little different and also to show you how I work, even with my own paint night paintings, I want to start from scratch. So bear with me if I talk a lot or if I don't say anything. This is part of my creative process. I will speed up at the end, just so you guys know where this is going. So you guys can follow along, or if you guys watch, and we'll do this together. It's entirely up to you. So let's begin. So I got my board right here, nice and flat. I did put a layer of gesso on it, so I can add some paints to it. Now I do have my paints here. I have these colored paints in tubes. It doesn't have to be tubes, it can be anything you want. I have these in the small little guys as well. So, and I've got some gold metallic paint, which I'm pretty excited to use. I've used this only for glass painting, wine glass painting. So when I think about change, now you don't have to do my process. I come from a design background, so naturally I'm thinking, like a rationale, like, well, I'm pick this word for a reason. Why did I pick this word? I want changes. Got it. So how do I want to pick changes? That's my way of thinking. Not everyone thinks this way. Some people might want to do some funky background and then call it the day. That's perfectly fine. I even thought about doing that as well. So who knows? Let's see where it goes. I'm pretty flexible. So what I want to do, I want to reflect change a little bit, and that's my mental process of how I want to do it. I guess it's part of a design background where we think about the rationale. Why do we pick this word, and how would we visually describe the word that would match the word, if that makes sense. So I want to use the left side as a point of where I'm currently at. So this is January 2021, we're beginning of the year. I just feel like I want to put an image or some kind of abstract paint to show that where I am, and then eventually move it to as we go towards the right side is like a destination of what I would like to feel, what I like things to look like when the time comes. Just have an idea. So it's going to be more of a journey than a destination. Sort of like a destination, but the journey of it, knowing that this is where I am and here is where I would like to go. If you want to use motifs, symbols, whatever shapes that you want that to define where you want to go for it. That's perfectly fine. I like it. At the end of the day, this is your canvas, and I want you guys to be happy about it. So I'm using canvas board. You don't have to use canvas board. You can use cardboard. It's entirely up to you. So I'm going to get some black paint because I feel like I want to start black here. Not saying that my life is black, although sometimes it does feel like black, maybe because of 2020. But it just feels right for me right now. I might add some color to it. So right now I'm just getting some black paint, lots of white paint. This is my palette right now. I tend to reuse my palette. It's kind of crazy. I'll give you another example of my palette. So this is my other palette that I use. It's pretty dry. And what I do is I'll normally squirt paint on it and just paint from there and just let it dry. And then if I'm really bored and I just need something to do, or I'm just thinking, I'll just go and pick these off. That's something I do. It's a little odd fun fact about me. I don't know if it's fun or not. I'm just gonna grab my brush and start painting, and then see where we go. If you want to fast forward some areas, feel free to do that. This is a free-form process, and I don't know where this may go. Now I got my gray here. For some reason, I'm feeling some red, so I'm just gonna grab some red right here, and unfortunately I'm running out on here, so I'm gonna see if there's any other red that I can use. So I'm gonna use Quin red. Quin red is more of a magenta red, magenta color. So now don't worry, these paints are dry. What's great about, I am using acrylic paint. What's great about acrylic paint, they do dry. So it's gonna add a bit of red to it. So I'm gonna do a grayish red. I don't know why I'm doing grayish red. I just like, oh, it needs a bit of red. I might throw in some blue. Get some phthalo blue in here as well. Now I'm just gonna get a sense of what I want to do. Like I said, I want to start here and then move to the right. I was thinking more rainbow flow coming from here to there, almost as if I feel like I want to shine my colors a little bit. I want to mutate it a little bit. So I'm going to try to go a little abstract. Now what's great about this is, well, not great about this, but one thing you do as you're painting is definitely have some music in the background, grab your beverage. I just feel like this needs a bit of black here, so a little bit black. Now, what's weird about these words of intention is something you can focus on. I know a friend of mine is focusing on health. She's been having some challenges, so I can totally see why she wants to do that. A friend of mine at one point was focusing on ease because she wanted to flow a little bit. You know, life is hard as it is, so let's flow a little bit more. Just gonna blend that in there. I'm feeling a sense of, you know, gonna make this a little wider. I'm gonna turn my music down. Oh, I should leave it. So hopefully your start of 2021 has been great. I know it's been a little crazy with what's going on with current events. So I hope you guys are taking a lot of self-care. for the past few months, I've been posting some questions on my personal Facebook wall to my friends, just general questions about, tell me something good today. What's one thing you can, sorry, I'm trying to think and paint at the same time. What's one thing you can add self-compassion to yourself? Ooh, that's interesting. What's one thing you can add sunshine to your life today? What's one thing you can add something sweet in your life without eating it? So we can be the sweetness rather than having to eat sweetness to feel the sweetness. So I'm just adding those kind of words, not words, those like question prompts, so people can answer it, create some interaction, but also with the purpose of it is to add a bit of positivity, add a bit of love to it. It's been a rough year for everybody, so thought that that might get people to focus on a little self-care. Oh, it's interesting. This is totally by feeling, guys. It is totally by feeling. So let's do some yellow. So these are just acrylic paints using different brands. What's great about acrylic paints, you can, depending on some of them, you can mix them together. Now, I'm not an oils fan because they smell. And of course, I can't do that in my apartment, but I feel like this would work well with oils because it's still wet. It takes a while to dry, and especially in our climate. So it'll be great medium to be able to blend. Not saying you can't blend with acrylics. It just has a different texture. Like oil in itself, it's smooth. So a little fun fact about acrylics, in case you guys didn't know. Acrylics was created in the 70s, just as Bob Ross was doing his paintings on TV. And it was created as it was created as a substitute or alternative to oils. Like I said, oils is great. It's a great medium to play with. It's something that I haven't mastered personally, unfortunately. But acrylics is made out of plastic. So it's something to be mindful of when you're working with it. If you're watching the recording, if you want to fast forward this part, feel free to do that. If you'd like to see the creative process. chill out and get a glass of wine. I feel like I need to put a stream here. I am totally going free flow with this one. Kind of like this one, the way the yellow separates there. Pretty excited about this, to put this on my wall. Change is a big word. Gonna add some green, see how this feels. And not feeling it. Yes, that's what happens. So I'm gonna take this green out and I'm gonna put it in the blue. Blue feels right. So this is my process. It feels right, doesn't feel right. Sometimes what I will do, especially with my painting, is I'll paint it, I'll look at it and thinking, you know what, I'm gonna take that out and add a different color, which I've done before. So it's a process for me. Not sure I want the blue, but let's give it a try. So sometimes I'll know if it feels right to put the color. Sometimes I don't know until, and then I need to try it out. Maybe usually because I'm overthinking it. I find that for me, it's hard not to overthink things. I don't know if you guys feel the same way or not. Those colors together. I'm just trying, it feels like a rainbow happening here. feel like I want to make some orange. So I mix some orange directly onto the canvas because the yellow is still wet. So one of my process I would do is I'll mix colors on the canvas rather than mixing on my palette, depending on what the situation is. Not everything has to be done on the palette. So I'm just looking at it. I'm going to add some white over here. I currently have some red on it, but I'm going to leave it to see how it goes. Interesting. I was a little hesitant to put in this blue, but I don't mind it now. Some white here and blend that in there. Kind of fade out a little bit. So let's add a bit of white. I was giving you guys a free art lesson here. As I said before, feel free to fast forward if you find this part is a little slow. There's a quote that says, art is not finished, it is abandoned. So we'll see how long I've been able to abandon this. I have paintings that I've done about 10 years ago, and I look at it and I want to make changes to it, but I kind of can't because I got some prints already made from it for greeting cards and stuff. So I feel like I really can't do that much. just let you know that this wasn't the direction I was thinking. I knew I wanted to move from one end to the other end. I didn't know how I want to do it. So kind of going with the flow here. What's great about acrylic paint is if I make a mistake, I can always get some white paint and cover it up and start all over again. I just finished participating in a 7-day Tibetan healing meditation. It's an interesting schedule because they operate on Central Standard Time, and I am in PST time, so they are ahead by a couple hours. So the first meditation starts at 7 a.m. their time, which means 5 a.m. PST time. So it's a interesting challenge to decide whether or not I want to stay up for it or go to sleep and then wake up later. So if you found your word, be sure to post it in the comments. And if you feel comfortable, post your image as well, so then we can see, and then perhaps that will inspire others to do the same. I want to add some yellow there. I am just going with the flow. Now, some people start their canvas with having the word already stenciled out or taped out or drawn out, and then they'll add the painting around it, which I've done in the past. You don't have to do the background first, so either way works. Sometimes that might be a good starting point with the word first and then add some things to it. I don't know if I want to do anything on the top here. So you can see my process is not set in, well, not set in stone in terms of I know what I'm going to do. Generally, I do. But when it comes to my personal art, I kind of let it flow. When it comes to paint night paintings, because I'm leading and teaching it, then I will be more precise. But because this isn't much of a lead and follow kind of environment and more of a creative process, I won't be that precise with this. So I feel like I'm gonna add something here. Now, when I first started thinking about some ideas for this, the concept of it, I thought I was going to use more colors than this, but for some reason, these are the only colors I want to work with. So don't feel that you need to use the whole palette. So I'm thinking, don't. Sometimes simple is more. I have a feeling this is going to be one of those paintings where I'm going to be looking at this and wonder, why did I paint this part right here? Because I'm finding it interesting because it's not connected here, and I don't feel the need to extend this line here. So maybe something new is going to happen. Yes, going back to the Tibetan healing meditation. So it's 5 in the morning, my time. So it's always a interesting decision making, deciding whether or not I want to stay up till 5 or go to bed and then wake up at 5 and then go bed back again. So I've done both. So it depends on what my energy's level at that time. So that's always interesting. And so this healing meditation, the Tibetan healing meditation, is kind of great because usually it's held in a cruise. So we're blessing the water, and maybe some of you might know that water carries messages. So the more positive the message it is, the more it is able to carry around the world, and whoever touches it, or whatever touches it. So this year, it's because of COVID, it's been held in a monastery. So it's going to be a different kind of energy altogether. So that was interesting. But I like it because the energy is really high. Not only are you looking to get your personal healing, because that's your intention when you start off, but also to help heal the world, giving some extra love, extra blessings. And the energy with the monks and the Qigong master who's hosting it it's higher. So with that and the group of people who are joining in, we're able to, it feels like we're creating some change. I do find it funny though, because it just happened this week, or just past week, during the time of what's happened in the States. So we did a little mini blessing to the US. Some positive love and healing. So I'm just gonna go and add some yellow. I feel like I need to add some yellow, and I don't know why I want to add yellow, but it feels that way. And I don't mind it mixing to create orange. Now, one thing you also do is you can use stencils. Stencils, the plastic stencils that you can find at craft stores, different patterns. I was actually thinking of using this, which is a pot holder. I like the texture. And I was thinking of stamping it, but I don't feel inspired to do that. So I am totally going with the flow. Now, if you don't have, if you're on a budget, and I know a lot of people aren't because some people might have lost their jobs, the dollar store is a great place for cheap supplies. This kind of thing, you don't need expensive stuff. Or if shopping is a little challenging in your area, because I know a few places are on lockdown, you can order on Amazon. Although I am noticing a lot of the smaller stores are offering pickup, curbside pickup, or delivery. I'm just trying to work as quickly as I can because I do want to demo the word. So that's my final result. I'm just looking on my screen how it looks like. Of course, it's going to be a little distorted because I don't have my camera, but I'm just going to stand up to see what it looks like. I like to give myself a bit of perspective to see what I might want to do. I'm going to add some red here, but I might add some yellow. So let's see how it goes. Add some white just to kind of tone that down a little bit. As I said, feel free to express yourself any way you want. You don't have to do it this way. I personally wasn't expecting to go this route. It just felt right. I knew I wanted to move from one end to the other end. I didn't know exactly how it was going to be. And I kind of like felt like, I want to start with red and then see where it goes. I'm starting with yellow. And then I thought I was going to use green because it felt right, but I think I can throw in some green if I wanted to, but I'm going to leave it. So that's my creative process. I'll give you an idea how I work. Do you have to work this way? No, I strongly encourage you to work your way because my way doesn't work for everybody. And I am totally aware of that. And like I said before, I wanted to create space for people to express themselves. And I find that if I start telling people how they should do it in the creative process, that is, then I'm restricting what is needed for them to come out. And I don't want to do that. Because then you stop the magic. And I don't want to stop the magic. I have some chai tea here with me. It's locally sourced, which I think is great, especially nowadays. People with those small businesses having a little trouble functioning. And funny enough, this chai tea is actually green tea based instead of the traditional black tea, but it has a lot of good stuff in it. Chaga mushroom, fennel, cinnamon. It has some oolong tea, which is a green tea, and I like to drink it for the caffeine. So I don't drink coffee. So I'm just looking at from my screen. I'm just looking from the top, bottom here to see if there's anything I want to add. I am thinking about adding some gold lettering for my word. And that should be fun. I think I am done. I'm just checking to see if there's anything I want to add. So I'm just giving myself a bit of distance. That's always good to do when you're doing a painting or some sort. Give yourself a distance. See if there's anything you want to add. I feel like I want to add something in this space here. Maybe extend some of my red in there or something. So for those who know my work, this is not what I normally kind of work I do. So I'm kind of going outside my comfort zone, trying something a little different, with no idea if it's going to work out or not. But like I said, what's great about acrylic paint is I can always cover it up if I don't like anything. If I don't like the whole thing, I can just get white paint and just cover it up. So I'm just going to pull this up in front of me, see if there's anything I want to do. It's interesting because when I go through the emotions with it, I can feel it feels right to add these different elements. But when I look at it, it looks very foreign to me, and it's not something that I normally do. So it's a little of a mind fuck. Pardon my swearing, but it feels like a challenge for the mind because it's not what I normally do. So it's different for me. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it as it is and let it sit. May end up going back to it. I'm not sure. It's one of those things because it's so personal that I want to let it sit and then see how I feel about it. When I'm gonna go on and do the text, put the word change on here, and hopefully by that time I start working on it, this will be dry. The only thing that's wet is these corners here that I just touched. This is basically dry, which I love about acrylic. So while that's drying, I'm going to decide on which word I want to use. I originally thought about using this one, but I'm going to see how I feel about it. So these are just printed off a printer. You can use any font from Word, bigger. You can even go to Google Docs in the Word document and print it from there if you do not have a printer. I mean, if you don't have a Word program. Google Docs Word program has that in there. I've used it before for that reason. So I was gonna see which word I want, which font I want to use. I wanted something scripty rather than blocky because I wanted to reflect a flow. Can't decide. So this is the fun part, is making a choice on which word you want to use. I like to use this one. It's a little more chunky in the sense that it works. I left quite a bit on the side because in case I want to frame it and mat it and frame it. So I've kind of left it as an option for me in case I do change my mind. I am a woman, so that's a common thing that we do. I like this one, but I'm afraid that this will get lost in all of this. I like this one too because it's big enough. I'm not sure if it's too kind of scripty like. I kind of like this one here. I might use this one instead. Okay, so what I've done is I picked this word, right? I'm just gonna cut this up. I'm gonna grab my scissors. Check this out. I'm gonna cut this word out. So there is my word. Make sure I'm centered a little bit. So you have two options when you put your word. One of them is you can get carbon paper. And this is carbon paper that carbon paper or graphite paper. So it's powder on one side and then nothing else. So the whole point is to put this down. The whole point first is to place it, tape it down, and then put this underneath, and you just trace the lines. If you don't have carbon paper and you don't want to run out and get some, or money is short, another way is to print it out on the back. As you can see, I've already traced it here. Another quick way to do this is just to go over it. Put this to the side. So wherever there's a word, I'm just going to go over it, trace it. So what I want to do is to transfer the lines on my canvas. So I'm just scribbling. You don't have to scribble. You can just do the trace line, which I've done before. I feel like in scribble mode. I don't normally do this. It's probably cleaner just to outline instead of scribbling. Okay, so I got that. So what the whole point is to do is to place this on my canvas, and let's just go and press and trace outside these lines in hopes that it will transfer onto the canvas or onto my board. Now I'm gonna use my HB pencil to do this. So here's my board. I'm just gonna place it. And if you're nitpicky like me, you can grab a ruler. And, get it on the even side. So let's just maybe make some room. Okay, so it's centered. Now I need to make sure that it is centered bottom. Okay, so I'll leave it as it is. Generally, when I do something like this, I will leave the bottom part a little wider than the top. So I don't have like these sides are evenly spaced, but this part and this one isn't. Because visually it looks better if it has a little more, if it's like slightly a longer, taller than this one. Now I'm just gonna get some tacky tape. This is just painter's tape because I know that when I paste this on, it's not gonna lift the paint on the bottom. And take this down. Now, if you have the carbon paper, you don't need to do all these rubbing around. You just put this underneath and just trace it. In this case, I do have it, so I'm going to go and demonstrate what it looks like. So I'm going to press firmly on my board. If it was paper, I would press a little lightly, but because this is basically canvas board, I don't feel like I need to worry about that much. So what I'm doing is just tracing the outline of the font onto this board. If you want to fast forward this part of the video, feel free to. So there's tons of different ways you can do your background. Mine was more a little artsy in terms of getting a little artsy, but with a reason why I did it. Like I mentioned before, some people like to do a general background. That's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. At the end of the day, it's something that you should be proud of and also help you set the intention for the year. So you can kind of see how it's transferred onto here, although that's a little challenging right there. So I'm just gonna go with my pencil and fix some of this. That's my spot because I taped it down. I can always go and there. So that's part of it. And so I was feeling doing some gold. So I do have some gold paint. I'm just going to grab a fine brush. Let's use this one. So another tip about brushes is you want to use the right brush that corresponds with the media you're using. So this is an acrylic brush. It's a round brush. It's a short handle. So I'm just outlining this, not outlining, I'm just filling this up with gold. Now noticing, I'm going to do a little backtrack here. I didn't think about it when I started. So what I'm going to do, I'm noticing the gold is pretty transparent. So I'm going to go over the word change in white paint and then put the gold on top, and that should help it stand out some more. I don't know if you can kind of see it, but not really much. Especially if I'm going to be putting this on the wall, I want to be able to see it. So while that's drying, I'm just going to go with white paint. I'm just using the tip of my brush to paint this. And I'm just gonna make my letters a little fatter and a little longer. Using the white paint. Now the gold paint is acrylic. The white paint is acrylic, so it should be able to work together. So once the white's dry and I put the gold on top, it will work. So be careful about mixing media. Some medias doesn't work well together. Feel free to fast forward this part. This is kind of meditative because I don't have to think too much. I'm just following the lines. There we go. Oh, you can totally see it on the screen. So as I'm painting this, I'm just thinking about my word and what change I want to see for 2021. So when you're thinking about your word, you can start planning on what you can do, like little goals, little tasks to help you achieve what is it that you're wanting. So the common thing is if you want prosperity, which is if it's money involved, what courses can you take? Can you hire a financial planner to help you with your finances? Maybe it's creating a budget, a savings program. Maybe you might need to take a part-time job. And just take small steps. You don't need to take huge steps to get to where you want. I find that the bigger steps are, it's daunting. It's daunting. Sometimes that can, because the steps are so big, it can stop us in our tracks. So find some small steps that you can take to get to where you want to go. If that makes sense, guys. So I'm almost done. Oops, my video camera's off. Sorry about that. My battery just started to die. Forgot to plug it in. So I will work a little quickly. So I've got my letters right here. What I'm going to do next is going to wait for it to dry, and then I'm going to start adding the gold. And because I have the white foundation on there, it should be able to stand out some more. Now you don't have to do this for all every time you do this. It just happens that my gold paint that I've got is pretty translucent. As you can tell when I was painting the first layer, that I need to add some white foundation to it. So I'm going to add in my gold and see if that makes a difference. And if not, I can always add a base color to it. I was thinking about adding some yellow, because this is pretty transparent stuff. Yeah, it's pretty transparent from what I can see on my screen. So let's grab some yellow paint. So I am just adapting here. I'm just adjusting. Actually, I do have some bronze. Would bronze work? And of course, if it doesn't work for me, I can always paint over it. It's coming pretty good. Yeah, nicely. Hope you guys have as much fun as I am having by creating this. And there we go, we are done. So I'm just gonna leave this alone, and I'm just gonna let this sit for a few days, and then I'm gonna come back to it and see if I wanna make any changes, which who knows, I might, because who I am today might not be the same person in the next few days. It's like reading a book. You're never the same person reading the same book. You're never the same person reading the same book. So I'm just gonna let it sit. And this is what I generally do with my own art, is I usually will let it sit and then come back to it and see if I want to make any changes to it. So right now I'm pretty lost in the flow. I'm just like enjoying the process of just painting. I'm not analyzing, I'm not judging, I'm not making decisions yet, at least. Just in the flow. And who knows, I might do this word all over again with a different color. As I said, what's great about acrylic paint is I can cover it with white. And I'm just gonna go grab my eraser. I'm just gonna erase this a little bit here. So yeah, that's it. Part of me wants to do some other changes, like add a drop shadow here. But knowing how I work, I'm just gonna let it sit, look at it, and then see if I wanna make any changes to it. And I will post the final result, I guess, at the end of the week, if you guys are watching this before then. Let's see how it goes. So yeah, that's it. That's my change. Wasn't really what I expected, so I'm a little surprised, but I'm glad I went through it. It was much needed, and I definitely wanted to create something that moved from the right to the left, something a little darker, and then move over something a little brighter on the left side. So I'm pretty excited to see how this is going to turn out in a few days, because who knows what I might or may not do. I might be happy with it. So for those who know my work, this is not my work and how I do my work. I'm more focused on defined shapes, recognizable shapes rather than this is more abstract, like except for the word change. So yeah, I'm just gonna see how it feels. Who knows? Maybe I might put some hearts on the end of the E. Maybe I might add some leaves coming out of it. So this in itself is going to be a work in progress. And as I said before, there's a quote that says, "Art's not complete; it's abandoned." So we'll see what happens. So that's it, guys. I hope you guys got a sense of how I do my work here. Yeah. So hopefully I get to see yours. Remember to type in the comments below about, not about, the word that you want to focus on for 2021. And if you need some help, let me know. I'm free to help you. Just be sure to post a question in the VIP group so I can help you guys out. And we'll go from there. Hopefully I'll see you again soon. Like I said before, definitely check out the next virtual paint night parties that I'm offering for free for Valentine's Day. They're all gnomes, so if you love gnomes, this is perfect for you. One on canvas and one on wood. It'll be a wood ornament and something cute and something fun to hang around at home or give as a gift to your loved one. And that's it, guys. Hope you had an awesome time with me. Let's see what 2021 is going to bring, guys. Take care and be safe. Bye.